Hello, Desert Phoenix. How nice of you to pop in. I see you there. Yeah, because you're always on these. That's very kind of you, sir. This is very unplanned, unscheduled. It's very much delayed. And I know that this is a bit of a niche stream. I don't get loads of views on the Lone Wolf stream, not yet anyway. But you know what? I don't care because I love it. And I really want to achieve my goal of playing the entire series online. I think I only ever went up to book 10 in my original collection, the Dungeons of Togar. That's right. So I'm certainly going to do all 12. I've just ordered the next 4 hardback books in the series today. I had to wait because money is tight at the minute. And they're not cheap, but worth every penny. So those 4 are on their way to join the 5 I already have. Now, I am currently halfway through, probably over halfway through Fire on the Water. My character narrowly escaped death. But I did this kind of arm wrestling contest, which I won barely, and the last page number I was on was 305. I've got a few people watching, so I'm going to read my choices out. I normally have a co-host on with me when I play this, but you know, there isn't anyone today, and I finished working for the day. Well, finish my you know, the stuff that pays money. So I really wanted to carry on with these, and I'm going to try and do at least one a week. I might even do more. So you're going to have to forgive me that they might be at slightly random times, which I know isn't the best idea. But I always do a stream on Tuesday, and generally I've been doing at least 2 streams a week, and they've always been Tuesday. Sometimes they're Wednesday, sometimes they're Sunday. So look out for more Lone Wolf adventures. If I have a free window on Sunday, I'll do it again on Sunday, and I may do a Lone Wolf stream before the retro review streams that happen on Tuesday. So I might do it slightly earlier. Anyway, so anyone who's in the chat, if you want to help me make the choices, I know that you're slightly behind the live by a few seconds, but if you want to help me make the choices when I have a choice to make, please feel free. So I'm currently on number 305 in Fire on the Water. And I've basically just sort of collapsed in a heap in some stables and fallen asleep. Yeah, so I spend the night safely hidden in the hayloft above the stables. Now, I can't remember if someone knows, so Phoenix, if you know, I can't remember if you spend a night somewhere, does that heal all your endurance? And I'm also a little bit confused, as we were rolling on my endurance for an arm wrestle, but I don't think I was actually being damaged. It was just a way of resolving whether or not I won the arm wrestle. So my endurance at the moment, therefore, is currently 15 out of 22. My combat skill is 18. Now, I had various bonuses and things to go along with that, but everything got stolen. So at the minute, all I've got is 5 gold crowns and a couple of other minor items, which were... So I've actually written up a little character sheet on my computer, so I don't have to keep referring to the book, the front of the book. I've actually got 6 people watching. I'm quite surprised. I didn't think people would be watching at this time of day. Guys, thanks so much for popping in. So this is a play-by adventure series book. You might remember these. There was a whole load done by Steve Jackson called Fighting Fantasy, but this one was written by a British author, Joe Deaver, who sadly is no longer with us. But his son and August Hahn have revitalized the series. They've reprinted them all. There's new editions, and Yeah, so Desert Phoenix, I know it's 1 point for every section I'm out of combat because I've got the healing ability. So I do remember that. So I'm already back up to my endurance, therefore, is actually already back up to 16 in that case. So I'm just going to do that correctly. Currently 16. Okay. Yeah, because on the last die roll with the arm wrestle, my endurance went to 0, which means I would have lost if his endurance hadn't have gone to -1. And don't forget, I wasn't taking damage. It was just to resolve an arm wrestling contest. Okay, so I've lost the die rolling. Oh, there's positive fandom here. Hey, you know what? If you're free, positive fandom, if you're free and you're at a loose end for an hour and you want to come on and help me finish this, I will send you the link via StreamYard and you can join the stream. Yeah, I was due to join positive fandom on there. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you, Desert Phoenix. Thank you so much for doing that, mate. That's lovely. I was due to join Positive Fandom stream last night to discuss Sound of Freedom, which is a film I've seen. I think it's very good. But it was 2 a.m. my time. And although normally I'm actually up at that time, I had a really long weekend and I was exhausted. So I fell asleep around 1. So unfortunately, I was not able to join that. There was also a stream about Titanic, which I was invited onto. But I sent the link for people to watch Titanic, which is 7 minutes, considerably shorter. Anyway, I am on the page 305. I'm about to turn to number 32 to continue the adventure. Sorry, I've just got to close the door because the window's open. It's going to be bashing. Okay. Right, there we go. All right, so all right, so we're going to continue. Now, the other thing that's happened is I have lost my die rolling app that I had. You know, I had those lovely 3D dice that rolled across the screen. And the only one I've been able to find that works, unfortunately, is a sort of, it's a rather naff kind of 2D one. I'll show you it quickly. Don't know what my hair's doing today, but at least it's there. It's this one. So to roll, you press this roll and the number just changes like that. It's a little bit rubbish. Whereas like last time, the dice actually rolled across the screen. Hey, Corey, nice to see you. So if anybody knows another link, because the link for the one that I was using before, it's down. So or it's just no longer there. So if anybody has a link for a 3D die rolling app, please put it in the chat. A free one, of course. I don't want to pay for it. I mean, I can roll dice here, but it will be out of camera. And I want people to know I'm being honest with my die rolls. I'd rather roll them on the screen. So so that's what's happening. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, there's a brief description of what the Lone Wolf Adventure series books are about in the description below. But basically, it's the plot is very similar to Star Wars, I have to say. You're kind of the last of these. They're called the they're like fighting monks, so they're like the Jedi. They're called the Kai. So I'm the last of the Kai who originally come from Summerland, which is here, where there's, I don't know what these white blobs are doing, but Summerland was attacked by dark forces of the Dark Lord. You know, the bad guys. They've been resurrected. This evil has come from the east. And Summerland and the Kai normally defend these kingdoms. Now, I had to get to Holmgard in the first book to warn the king that Summerland had been attacked and the Kai have been wiped out. So it's a bit like, I guess, Attack of the Clones, in the sense that they suddenly, they try and wipe out all the Jedi in one go. So no worries. I thought you'd probably be at work, but yes, please, you're welcome on any of these if you want to navigate this with me. So my job now, having got to the king in Holmgard, is to travel to the king of Duranor in Hammerdale and ask for his help, and also if he will give the powerful Sommerswerd, it's kind of summer sword really, to help defeat the bad guys. Now I took a ship, various bad shit happened, and I've ended up in the kind of pirate town of Raggadorn, which is a hive of scum and villainy. And I got knocked over the head, all my stuff was taken, but then I managed to get it back and beat this guy in an arm wrestle. Now I've got 5 gold crowns, so that's good. And I've fallen asleep, and now I'm going to turn to page 32. Okay, so I'm going to read out the options as they go, and if anyone is trying to encourage me to, by the way, if you try and encourage me to pick a choice which I think is going to lead to my death, guess what? I'm not going to take it. But if you want to help me make some choices in chat along the way, feel free to do so. Okay, here we go. So 32, here we are. I better have some water actually, because I've got to do a lot of talking when I'm doing these, because I have to read out everything. Okay, here we go. So let's have a look. You awake at dawn to the sound of a shrill cockcrow. You can, there you go. You can see the crooked streets of Raggadorn through a veil of heavy rain, which is beating down noisily on the cobblestones outside. It's been 6 days since you've left Holmgard, and you're still 200 miles from Port Bax. So Port Bax, we can see, is here. I'm still 200 miles away from there, and then I've still got to get to Hammerdale. You're in the loft of a large coaching station. A group of green-clad men have arrived, and they're beginning their work at cleaning out one of the coaches. You overhear one of them say that the coach leaves for Port Bax at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and the journey will take 7 days. 7 days by coach. Man, what happened to Uber? Is there an Uber coach I can take? Okay, you are hungry and you must eat a meal here or lose 3 endurance points. Now, I can't remember if I've got any meals left. I've got meals written down, but I wonder if I lost them or did I get them back? I'm really not sure. I think what I'm going to do is, I've got 10 meals listed, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a dice to see how many meals I managed to get back. I know I got back some of my possessions, but it wasn't too specific. My memory might just be playing tricks on me, of course. But let me, to be fair, what we're going to do is we're going to do a die roll and see how many meals I do in fact have. And if it's 10, then it's going to be 0. So I'm being mean on myself here, right? I'm being mean on myself. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to roll, see what happens. It's an 8. Okay, so I've got 8 meals. Okay, cool. All right. So I'm just going to write that on my character sheet. We might need that. We might need that die roller, so we'll keep that up. Meals. So I've got 8. So I've eaten 1, so I've got 7, which means I gained another endurance point for this section, and I've just gained another 3. So my endurance is now back up to 20 of a maximum of 22, which is good. All right. Okay. So I've got a couple of options here, guys. After the meal, if you decide to approach the coachman and buy a ticket for the journey to Port Bax, turn to 136. Second option, descend the ladder from the loft to the street outside and go wandering about in the streets. Well, On the one hand, I want to get to port backs as quick as possible. On the other hand, have I explored Ragadawn enough and got everything I can from here? There are 6 people watching. Somebody help me with a choice. Book the coach or explore the streets further. And Desert Phoenix, I think, has got a nicer die rolling app for me, possibly. Let me get the map back up again. So, yeah, guys. So help me with the choice here. Streets or coach? Streets or coach? What am I doing? Write in the chat if you would. If I don't see an option pretty soon, I'll pick it myself. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So let's just put this streets or coach. Okay, question mark. All right. So let's have a look at the actually on YouTube. This runs a bit faster, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Desert Phoenix is saying coach. Okay, yeah. I think booking the coach is probably a good idea. Yeah, I do need to get there quickly. And so far, my adventures in Ragadawn have caused me nothing but grief. So let's turn to page 136. There's 6 of you watching. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Most of the content of the channel is not gaming, but you will see all of the Lone Wolf books played through on here eventually. Most of the content of the channel is industry interviews with creative people. That includes actors, stuntmen, directors, writers, gaffers, directors of photography, all of those kind of things. And then we also do reviews of new films and retro reviews and deep discussions of older films. Okay, I am taking the... I'm going to try and book a coach. Oh, now... The fare to Port Backs is 20 gold crowns, says the coachman. If you have 20 gold crowns and wish to purchase a ticket, turn to 10. If you do not have 20 gold crowns, go to 238. Well, guess what? I do not have 20 gold crowns, so I'm going to have to go to page 238. So I guess I'm exploring the streets and trying to get some more money. Okay, all right. So here we go. Okay, so right. So I was on 136. So I'm losing my page here. Let me just give me a sec. Gold crowns, yeah, don't have enough. So turn to 238. 238, not 228. I nearly went to 228. 238. Outside the coach station is a narrow street leading to a gaming house. Guess what? It sounds like I'm going to have to gamble in order to get some money. And there's a big sign that says no weapons allowed here. You are excited by the chance of being able to win some gold and quickly enter. Am I now? Clearly a gambling man, this guy. An attractive young woman spins a black dish divided into 10 sections marked 0 to 9. Now, look, I don't know what your idea of an attractive young woman is. Hang on, where's the camera? There it is. But my idea of an attractive young woman is not this. So she looks like a stony-faced, rather fierce lady to me. But, you know, it's olden times. So, right, okay, hang on a second. All weapons must be left at the door with a guard at the door. You can recover your weapons when you decide to leave. Okay. You're given a silver token worth 1 gold crown, which can be used in the gaming house. You only receive this free silver token once, no matter how many times you enter the gaming. Okay, so I've got a silver token. Right. Silver token. Okay, just writing that down quickly. Under items. Okay. Then the entrance hall opens into a huge room where many gambling games are in progress. Okay. One catches your eye. It's called Cartwheel. At one end of a long table, an attractive young woman, yeah, we got how attractive she was, spins a black dish divided into 10 sections marked 0 to 9. As the dish spins, she drops a small silver ball in it. which eventually comes to a rest. Right, so it's a roulette wheel, basically. The links he's posting seem to disappear. Yeah, okay. That's, do you know what? If you're a moderator, Desert Phoenix, you can post links. So hang on a minute, mate. I'm going to make you a mod because you always come and support my Lone Wolf streams. So if anybody should be a mod on my Lone Wolf streams, it should be you. Just give me a second and I'll see if I can do that now. Add as a moderator. Managing moderator. Standard moderator. There we go. Okay. All right. Desert Phoenix, you are now a mod, mate. So post those links again, mate. See if you can get them to come up. Yeah, no problem, bud. You've always been here supporting my streams, so quite happy to make you a mod. But look, don't ban anyone without checking with me first, unless they are outright, offensive immediately. But if it's anything you're not sure about, always check with me first, okay? So, all right, here we go. To play Cartwheel, you must first decide the number you would like to bet on and how many gold crowns you wish to stake. Make a note of these numbers, then pick from the random table. If you pick exactly the same number, you win 8 gold crowns for every 1 crown you gamble. If the number you pick is immediately before or after the correct choice, you win 5 gold crowns for every... okay. There is a 40 crown limit as to how much you can win at the table. In the game of Cartwheel, if the adjacent number to the number 9, okay, 0 is adjacent to 9, okay. You win 5 gold crowns for every 1 that you staked. You may play as many rounds of Cartwheel as you wish. If you lose all your gold crowns, turn to 1, not 6, 9. If you have winnings to collect or you wish to withdraw from the building. Okay, so the question is, do I gamble here on this table? Now, look, I've only got 5 gold crowns. The fare to get to and I can make my way back to the coach house and choose that option, I assume, to then go to the coach. So 32, I'm just going to write that down. Number 32 is how I get back to the coach house. So coach house. And the thing is not until 1 o'clock. Thanks for that, Desert Phoenix, and thank you for the Dice app link. Let me see if I can just grab that quickly. See if I can open that up. Dice room, get started, roll dice. Okay. Oh, I see. Right, okay. Roll. Hey, yeah, that's much nicer looking, mate. Oh, nice one. Good. Yeah, okay. I'm going to use that instead. Lovely. All right. So we have a die rolling out. Saying thanks so much for Desert Phoenix. That's a lovely little visual die rolling out. The dice are yellow. Don't know if I can change the color, but maybe there's an option to do that. But yeah, it's good though. So if I just want to do a D10, click on that, roll. Oh, and you can even add modifiers as well. That's cool, isn't it? So I can even add modifiers. Like it. All right, okay. So what do you reckon? Should I gamble? And if so, how much? And what number should I put it on? Well, I'm guessing that you can't. It doesn't say that you can't bet on more than one number at a time. But I have a feeling that would be cheating. So it's a 1 in 10 chance. It's a 1. There's a 3 in 10 chance of winning. So I win 9. I win 8 gold crowns if I get bang on the number, and I win 5 gold crowns if I get a number either side. Okay, all right, cool. So I tell you what, we're going to bet on number 7. Lucky number 7. Let's do that. And I'm going to roll the dice and see what happens. Okay. So let me grab a... Just going to stop that one. We're going to stop sharing the map for a second. And we are going to share the new die roll. Oh, there we go. This is the new die rolling app from... so I'm putting the D10 up. Here we go. And I'm putting... I'm going to put 2 gold crowns of my 5 on number 7. Oh, shit. I lost them both. Now I've only got 3 left. Melvin, I think... I don't... Last time I checked, it was I think it was around 100. So I'll check again I'll check again at the end of this stream. But I'm due, YouTube is supposed to contact you as well as soon as you're monetized, which I haven't had. So yeah. Anyway, okay. So I'm going to... Good to see you, by the way, Melvin. Thanks for popping in the stream. Do share the stream, guys. Subscribe if you haven't done already. This is quite a niche stream that I'm doing. I'm currently gambling in a gambling den in the world of Lone Wolf. I'm trying to get some money to get a coach fare. All right, so I'm going to just do 1 gold crown this time. I'm still going to bet on number 7. Here we go. 8. So that's an adjacent number. So I won 5 gold crowns, and I've got 2 left. So I'm back up to 7. Okay, good. All right. And remember, there's a maximum winning limit of 40. So I can win another 35 potentially. Well, I think I'm going to go again. I'm going to bet another crown on number 7. So here we go. 5. So I've lost 1. So I'm back down to 6. Come on. Don't like gambling, but here we go. So I'm going to put another crown on number 7 again. Shit. I'm down to 5. So I'm back where I started. What do I do? Because I still don't have enough money for the coach. Got to keep going, haven't I? Might as well. And I'll have to get some money some other way. Or I'm walking. Okay, I'm going to bet on... I think I'm going to bet on 7 again. Shit, that was going to be a 7. That was going to be a 7. So I'm down to 4. Not looking good. 7 again. Fuck. Down to 3. Okay, guys, I'm down to 3 gold crowns. And I'm not looking much closer to my 20 crown coach fare. Do I keep going or what? What do we think? I think I might bet on the number 10 this time. So, and if I get 1 or I get 9, I win some money. So I'm going to bet on number 10. Here we go. Shit, why didn't I stick with 7? I would have won some money. Oh, for God's sake. Down to 2. Betting on number 10 again. Again, if I'd stuck with 7, I would have won some money. I'm down to 1 gold crown, guys. This is why you should never gamble for all you kids watching at home. So I'm going to bet my last gold crown on number 10 again. I am out of money. The house has taken everything. Shit. God damn. 0 gold crowns. That's terrible. Oh dear. Right, well, we'll stop sharing the dice app for the moment and we will put up the map again. So I am still stuck in the town of Raggadorn and I'm trying to get to Port back so I can either get a coach, maybe I can get a ship, I don't know. Leave the building. I'm going to 186 then with no money. Oh, hang on. If you lose all your gold crowns, go to 169. So I've lost them all. 169. Maybe there's another way that I can win. Okay, here we go. You leave the gaming house and you walk dejectedly back towards the coach station. In the distance, you can see the east gate of the city. Waiting below its arch is the coach to Durinor. You must get to Port Bax. The future of Summerland depends on it. Yeah, I know it does. You slip past the guard and board the coach without him seeing you enter. As the departure time gets nearer, 5 other passengers climb into the coach and seat themselves next to you. The guard slams the door and you begin your journey to Port Bax. Well, why didn't I just do that in the first place? No, apparently Desert Phoenix, there is not a different game. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't just sneak on board the coach in the first place. Right, it now says I have to pick a random number. So I'm going to roll the dice again. I'll just tell you what it is because we're not in a combat situation. I have rolled a 6. So if you roll a 6, turn to 249. Okay, I'm going to 249. Maybe somebody's going to say, hang on a minute, the coach is overloaded. 249. Here we go. During the course of the afternoon's journey, you chat with your fellow travelers and learn a bit about their backgrounds. Tell you what, they all look a bit suspicious to me. I've got to show you these. Got to show you these guys. Here they are. It's like a wanted poster, isn't it? These are the other journey. These are the other people on the journey. Yeah, what a suspicious bunch of characters. Sitting opposite you are 2 brothers named Ganon and Doria. They are knights in the Order of the White Mountain, warrior lords of Durinor, who have pledged allegiance to protect the country from the raids by the bandits of the Wildlands. Well, those are the guys that I am fighting. So we'll just put the map back up. Oh, I see, the Wildlands. Okay, so there are bandits in the Wildlands because we're about to cross the Wildlands. They own a castle and land near Port Bax. Okay, nice. Very nice for them. Next to them sits Halvok, a merchant. His nose is swollen. Okay, yeah, he's got a big zit. I see that. And his face is badly bruised, thanks to Lackland, the overlord of Raggadorn. A little misunderstanding about port taxes. Lost him his cargo and most of his gold. Seated by the far door is a priest called Parsian. Like you, he is a Summerlending who has journeyed across the wildlands by coach on his way to Port Bax. Looks a bit dodgy to me. Looks very dodgy, actually. So he's the geezer with the cloak on there. You can see, yeah, he looks like really suspicious. Don't know. And then next to him is seated a young woman. I have to say she's the most attractive of the 5. Called Vivica. She is a mercenary adventuress who earns her gold by fighting for it and sells her sword skills to the highest bidder. She is returning from Port Bax after having collected payment, returning to Port Bax for a successful mission in Raggadorn. Not revealing your true identity, you have pretended to be a simple peasant. Apparently, I'm a simple peasant from the Holmgard plain. The travellers seem unaware of the invasion of Summerland by the Dark Lord Zagana. Well, it has only just happened a few days ago, but you would have thought news would have travelled by now. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. Okay, right. So, Turn to page 39. Okay, all right. So I'm turning to page 39. At dusk, it's dusk. The coach. I wonder if these are. Oh, okay. That's at dusk. The coach stops at the inn on the coast road to Port Backs. The cost of a room for the night is 1 gold crown for the coach passengers and 3 gold crowns for everyone else. As you're about to enter, the coach driver demands to see your ticket. Oh, shit. Well, I don't have one, do I? If you do not have a ticket, turn to 156. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't have one. The driver becomes very agitated and he shouts, "There is a long walk ahead of you, stranger," and he slams the door in your face. If you cannot afford to buy a room for the night, so you decide to bed down with the horses in the stable next door. How lovely. That's nice, isn't it? So I'm in the stables with the horses. Hang on a minute. It seems like I've just died. That seems a bit harsh. I've got a 156. The driver becomes very agitated and shouts, "There's a long walk ahead of you." So you decide to bed down with the horses. You climb on top of the pile of hail bales and pull your warm Kai cloak around your shoulders to keep out the chill wind. Quickly, you fall into a deep sleep, unaware you will never open your eyes again. One of your fellow passengers aboard the coach is a member of the same group who have hunted you since before you left Holmgard. The agent creeps out of the inn and assassinates you in the dark chill of the night. Do you know who the agent is? Tragically, your life has come to an end here on the road to Port Backs. Well, that's crap. Because it wasn't like I made a bad choice. I just didn't have any money. So I've just died. Oh, I'm pretty pissed off now. It didn't even give me any options to try and like charm the driver or, you know. And how come I'm a lone wolf? How come this guy is so sneaky and all the rest of it? Okay, well, I've either got to start this book again or fudge, cheat basically, and go back. I think what I'll do is I'll go back to where I started. This, so I'm going to go back to where I started this particular stream, which was 305. I've got 5 gold crowns in my pocket. I think that's kind of like a restart, isn't it, on a computer game? But I feel now that I've failed in my quest to actually get through the books in one piece without having to do that. Yeah, it was, yeah, Desert Phoenix. Oh boy, huh? It was a bit of a mean. Like, you know, I didn't have any money, so I went to sleep in the hayloft, so I'm dead. That's a bit mean. That's a bit mean. All right, so I'm gonna start again. I'm going to page 32, so I'm probably going to have to go back to the gambling den because it seems like that's the only option. But let's see what the other options are. Okay, so yeah, I do all the stuff for the endurance, blah 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 blah. I know how much it costs to get on the coach. It's 20 crowns, which I don't have, so I'm going to go to 238. Opposite the coach station is the gambling den. Oh, okay. So I'm straight back into the gambling den again. Okay. So I mean, there are no other options. It doesn't give you an option to like explore elsewhere around the town, because once you go to the coach driver and he tells you that that it costs you $20, you have to go to the thing. Okay. Right. So I'm back on the gambling cartwheel table again. So I guess we're back to gambling again because that's the only option. I have a feeling we might be going around this wheel a few times, but let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna have to put my dice up again. Man, I'm annoyed now because I wanted to be able to play this series the whole way through without dying. I really did, and so far I was successful in that. Okay, so I'm going to pick the number 7 again. Here we go. And I've got 5 gold crowns. I've got 4 gold crowns. Let's stick with 7. I've got 3 gold crowns. I've got 2 gold crowns. I've got 1 gold crown. This is going well. I've got none. So I think that's just going to take me back to the coach, which is going to lead me to the same ending. Oh, hang on a minute. No, then I have to roll a random dice to see where I go. That's right. So I board the coach without a ticket, because that's what happens if you leave the house with no money. And then you have to roll a number. 3. Okay, I didn't get 3 last time. Turn to page 39. What does that mean? That takes me to the inn. Which takes me to the decision with needing a ticket or not having a ticket, which takes me to the stables, which takes me to being killed. So at the minute, I'm stuck in a loop where there are no other options right now. So I just have to keep going back to the gaming house until I win some money. I have to admit, I'm a little bit disappointed that these are the only options at this time, because there are no other numbers that I can choose. And that's usually there's a few more choices than that. So it does feel like the game has let itself down a little bit here. Okay, so I'm now back to having 5 gold crowns again, and back in the. This is like my second round of resurrection. Okay, and I'm still betting on 7. So 4. Okay, so I got an 8. So I've just won 5 gold crowns, which gives me 9. Okay, still going to bet on 7. Okay, so I've got 8 now. 7. 6. 5. Back to where I started. Just gained another 5. So now I've got 10. And the number 10 hasn't come up yet. Neither has 9 and neither has 1. So now I'm going to bet on 10. Would have got another 5 if I'd stuck with 7 there. So I'm down to 9. I've just got another 5. So I'm up to 14. 6 away from having the coach fare. Should have said I'd bet on 7 again, but I didn't, did I? So I'm down to 13. Still betting on 10. Down to 12. Down to 11. Down to 10. Down to 9. Down to 8. Down to 7. This is bad. Down to 6. Down to 5. Just scored I think I get 9 for that. Let me just check. I win 8. So and I think you win 8 gold crowns for every 1 gold crown that you gamble. So if you win 8, that would mean that you would retain the one that you've betted. So I think I've done this wrong in the first place, because I think when you win, you get money and you keep the coin that you put down, judging from the way that this is worded. Yeah, mate, you're not wrong. This is going to get a bit tedious for people watching, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm going to go back to 7 again, and I've now got 12, 13 actually. Oh, hang on. No, I didn't mean to do that. It's how did I don't know, just 1d10. Thank you. No. Okay, so I've just won another 5. So I'm nearly there. I'm going to stick with 7, I think. No. Just won another 5. Okay, this could go on all day. I think we'll just say that eventually, due to my amazing gambling skills, I got up to 20. I think I'm nearly there, and I also think I did it wrong the first time. So so let we withdraw from the building with monies. Right, okay. You're standing opposite a large building, stables, coaching station. If you wish to approach the coachman to buy a ticket, yes, I do, and I've been here before. 136. I purchase a ticket. Go to 10. You purchase a ticket. Record this special item, and the man escorts you to the coach. Right, okay. So coach ticket. I'll put that down. Pretty sure it's only valid on 1 coach, but I'll write it down all the same. Coach ticket. Okay. Stowing your equipment beneath your seat. When you awake, you're no longer alone. You're joined by 5 other passengers. Well, we know one of them's an assassin. And by the way, I knew that anyway. And I mean, I don't reckon it's going to be one of the brothers. And I don't reckon it's going to be. I've got to pick a random number, by the way. So let's do that quickly before I put the map back up. 5. Okay, 195. I think it's going to be that, like, either that hooded guy, possibly the girl. You've been traveling for nearly 2 hours when the driver shouts out, "Toll bridge ahead, 1 crown apiece." Despite the pouring rain, you put your head out the window and you're able to make out a wooden bridge spanning a river and a log cabin. And strange creatures appear at the doorway. It's swow, a small species of gyak held to be relatively harmless and meek. They've been natives in the wildlands since the age of the Black Moon. Blah, 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 blah. Shall demand 1 gold crown from each passenger before the coach is allowed across the bridge. Okay, yeah, well, I'm going to pay the toll. Let's just assume that that's my last gold crown. For 249. During the course of the journey, yeah. Okay, so this is when I chat with the people. Okay, so one of these is the assassin. Now, my money is on either the woman or the guy. This guy here, he looks very suspicious, or the woman. It could be him. I don't think it's the brothers. It could be one of the brothers, but we'll see. Yeah, and of course, I'm just a peasant. Like, they believe that. I'm sure they believe that. I look just like a peasant with my green cloak and, all of that. Okay, right. So I've got a ticket this time. 346. Okay, so I'm now on number 346. Driver nods and returns the ticket. The inn is warm, poorly furnished. So I eat a meal in my backpack. My endurance is now back up to maximum. Oh, it's done that anyway because I've been through loads of places with no combat. The Kai discipline of hunting cannot be used on your journey through the wildlands because it's barren. So I eat when I have to eat a meal. So I'm now down to 6 meals. Okay, that's fine. Now this is interesting because it's saying either pay for a room or you have to go outside. Well, you know what? I have a feeling if I go outside, I'm going to die. So I think I'm going to pay for a room. 280. Money's become very important on this section of the quest. I did originally have quite a bit of cash, and it's unclear to me whether I got all of that back when I won that arm wrestling contest with the guy who I think stole my money. Right, you sleep deeply without being disturbed and then rise at dawn feeling refreshed and alert. You gather your equipment, join the coach for 2 days and 2 nights. Coach trundles along. This is a particularly bleak and inhospitable region. Catch a few hours of sleep. Early on the 9th day of your quest, there's an unfortunate accident. Oh, is there now? Okay. What unfortunate accident is that? Pick a number. Here we go. 1. I've got to turn to page 2. I hope that unfortunate accident doesn't just suddenly say your journey ends here. 2. You travel along a narrow section of coast road. Okay, let's get the map back up for a bit of atmospheric detail. Yeah, Desert Phoenix. No spoilers, please. Oh, David Macy's here. Hey, thanks for popping on, David. I just did a breakdown of David's script for him. It was very good, actually, and funnily enough, involved coaches and horsemen and highwaymen and this sort of thing. So, I have a feeling I did play this before. I have a feeling it's one of the guys. But traveling along a narrow section of coast road, follows a dizzy course beneath high and overhanging cliffs. A rock fall has blocked the road ahead, and you're forced to stop, helping the driver to lever a large rock from the path of the carriage. When you hear a rumbling sound, a boulder crashes down from the cliff, killing the driver before you can make an attempt to save him. If you have the Kai discipline of 6th sense, which I think I do, turn to page 42. If you do not have this skill, turn to page 168. Okay, so basically, slowly, one by one, the travellers appear at your side in shock at the dead coachman. The priest says we must bury him. So we do. I know the road to Port back, so I'd better drive the coach, volunteers Halvarok. I think that's one of the brothers. Not sure if I trust them, really. It was an act of the gods, says Doria. I shall testify to that, says Gannon. Lies are never spoken by the knights of the White Mountain. Okay, now if that's true, then the 2 brothers are not the assassin. It's true that enduring or a true knight will only speak truth, whether for his own good or ill. His words seem to reassure the priest. You're all soon once more on the road, heading towards the eastern horizon. It's late in the afternoon when you arrive at the coach station. Small coastal village known as Gorn Cove. So is that on the map then? Oh, yeah, there it is. It's here. Hey, so we're not that far from Port Backs now. Gorn Cove, which is mainly populated by outcasts, thieves, and shrouds, a hive of scum and villainy. The death of the coachman is met by the villagers with great suspicion, but Doria's words convince them that it was accidental. There is only one inn in the village, a tavern known as the Forlorn Hope. It's in a state of disrepair and is typical of all the other hovels in this poor sea village. A room for the night costs 1 gold crown. Now, I'm guessing that if I haven't got money to pay for a room, I'm suddenly going to be assassinated. Okay, there's an opportunity to win some money. Look, I'm just gonna say that I've got the money through 3 months because I'm pretty sure I could have won it if I'd stayed at that gaming table all day. But I'm going to put my crowns at 0. The innkeeper is an old man with only one eye. In fact, there's a picture of him. Here he is. Yeah, he looks like a really friendly chap, doesn't he? He hands you a key and points to a balcony opposite. Number 2, the red door, he says in a reedy voice. Reedy voice? Okay. The other travellers pay their money and collect their keys. We must make plans for tomorrow, says Doria. The others all nod in agreement. I suggest we meet here in the bar in 1 hour's time to decide what to do. As you close the red room of your door, for some unknown reason, you recall the words of Captain Kelman when you left the harbour. There is evil treachery at work here. Clearly, the enemy already has plans afoot to thwart your quest. An hour has nearly passed when your thoughts are disturbed by a knock at your door. It's the innkeeper carrying a tray of piping hot food. The food smells very appetizing. If you have a skill of hunting, go to 290. Okay, so I have a feeling that this food might be poisoned. And I do possess the skill of hunting. The smooth field smells delicious, but you notice there are 2 or 3 drops of clear liquid on the side plate and another on the tray. At first you suspect it's water until you touch it and notice it's sticky. You recognize it as the sap from the gandum tree, a deadly poison preferred by assassins. Hey, Darth Plato, good to see you. I am playing the Lone Wolf books. I am on Fire on the Water, Book 2, Part 2. The shock of your discovery soon turns to anger. You grab your belongings, leave the room, intent on discovering the identity of your would-be killer. I eat a meal from my backpack. Yeah, okay, down to 5 meals. Turn to 200. The others are all seated at the large table awaiting your appearance. Right, so one of these people is a killer. I don't think it's a girl. Could be one of the brothers. Let's see. By the time you reach the bar, the others are all seated at the table awaiting your appearance. Drawing closer to the table, you look carefully to see something of your identity. You'll have to attack without giving any warning to your enemy. So you study the travellers carefully and then make your decision. Christ. So I've got to choose to attack one of them, but I don't know which one. I think one of the travellers killed the guy. So I don't think it's Doria, because he said that it was the will of the gods, etc., etc., etc. So I don't think it's him. So yeah, I don't think it's him. Now it could be the merchant. I've got no other options, right? I have to attack one of them. Okay, it could be the merchant, because he looks. I mean, but the thing with him is he's got a massive nose, and I just he looks like a bad guy, but I just don't think it's him. I think most likely it's the priest, or the other guy. I think it's the priest, because it's not going to be one of the brothers. I don't think it's the woman. And I don't think it's the merchant, because the merchant just looks ugly and he's too obvious. So I think it's the priest. The priest looked dodgy. It's a bit obvious, but I'm gonna go with the priest. All right, so we're in a combat situation. So turn to 158. The priest does not seem at all surprised by your attack. Wonder if I got the right guy. He takes a step backwards and draws a black sword from beneath his robes. Combat skill 16, endurance 23. Right, so his endurance is slightly higher than mine, but his combat skill is lower. I get +2 on the odds. So here we go. Now, if I die from this combat, I think I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to have to start firing the water again. But because I have fudged it a little bit today, I feel I'm going to be very strict with myself once I get to the next section. Okay, so I've rolled a 5. So on the combat ratio, he has taken 8 points of damage, and I have taken 2. Okay, so I'm just going to write this down. He's taken 8. I've taken 2. So I'm currently at 20, and he's currently way worse off. Okay, he's currently, I think, at 15. So we'll go again. That's not so good. He took another 5. So he's at 10. And I've taken I've taken 4. So I'm currently at 16. So I'm currently at 16. Actually, let me just reduce these as I go. That'll be easier. He's currently at 10. Okay, but I come back thrashing wildly. Oh, for God's sake, that's the same again. So he's now at 5. And I'm now at 12. God, I've taken a bit of a battering here. Here we go again. Come on, high roll, please. 4. That's better than last time. He is at... Oh, he's dead. He's at -1, and I'm at 9. Okay, so my endurance is now currently 9. Thank God I've got the discipline of healing. Okay, so he croaks. Let's put the map back up. I'm going to take his black sword as well. So I'm going to add that to my weapons, because he pulled out a black sword. I'm going to take it. Black sword. I hope this was the right guy. He said he didn't feel... He said he wasn't surprised. So let's see. You may evade... I don't evade the combat. I'm totally going for it. 331. Quickly, you search the body of the... Is that right? Dead guard. He wasn't a guard. No, I turned to the wrong number. Sorry. I misread. If you win this combat, turn to 220. I read the one below. 220. Yeah, you've got to be careful not to do that. Searching the man's body, you discover all you need to prove that he was the assassin. Inside his pockets, you find half an empty vial of Ganem sap, deadly poison. I'm going to take that. Thanks very much. So we'll put that on our little items list. That might be useful. There's a scroll written in Gaiac giving details of your expected arrival at Port Bax he must have located. You notice that the weapon he carries a Dark Lord blade, fashioned of black steel and forged in the furnaces of Holmgard, the infernal city of the Darklands. It's all pretty descriptive. Only there and a couple of other Darkland fortresses, and all of Magnamund can black steel be wrought. Well, that sounds like a pretty cool weapon, so glad I got that. The final proof of his true identity is the serpent tattoo on his left wrist. The harbour thugs who attempted to kill you before you'd even left had that. His purse contains 23 gold crowns. Right, now, I did do a bit of fudging, so we're going to call that 20, okay? Because I kind of... Okay, remember, you can only carry a maximum of 50 gold crowns. Not having that problem at the moment. Okay, turn to 33. All right. So I'm a little bit injured, but that's one page I've turned to without combat, which puts me back up to 9. And this next one puts me back up to 10 because I heal. The other travellers stare at horror and disbelief of what you have done. Before you can explain yourself, there is a loud crash at the front door. 6 armoured soldiers led by the innkeeper and the town guard are furious, screaming at you to arrest you. If you wish to fight them, turn to 296. If you wish to escape, turn to 88. Well, I'm not going to ask you guys what I should do. I am out of here. I'm running. So I'm going to go... although night has fallen, a full moon casts its ashen light upon the village. Behind the tavern, you see a small wheelwright shop. Outside the shop are 2 horses hitched to a hay cart. If you have the Kai discipline of camouflage, I don't think I do. Let me just check. I don't. I can go into the shop, or I can try and take a horse to escape. I think I'm going to take a horse. 150. So let's go to 150. You spur the horse along the twisting village street, across a wooden bridge, and up a steeply winding path towards the crest of the cove. You may make a note that you have visited Gorn Cove for future reference. Okay, well, I've visited Gorn Cove. In the light of the moon, you catch a glimpse of a signpost pointing eastwards. You ride all night without sleep. As dawn breaks, you are... Oh, and the sign says Port Backs, 50 miles, by the way. As dawn breaks, you are greeted by a startling change of landscape. The barren wirelands now give way to a vast expanse of moors and waterlogged fens known as Rat Swamp. Ah, right. So I don't know if I can go any closer on this map. Can I? Let's have a look. Don't think I can zoom in, sadly. Okay, I wonder if I can zoom in. I don't think you can zoom in. No. Okay, so I'm guessing the swamp is kind of here, just before this river. Oh, yes, here we go. This is the swamp sort of area. Okay, all right. Very good. You're less than a day's ride from Port Backs. You must eat a meal. Okay, well, I've got some meals left, so I'll do that, or lose 3 endurance points. Oh, this is another thing. I've done another 2 things where without combat, so my endurance is on 12. Okay. After an hour's ride, you come to a fork road. There's no signpost. If you want to take the left, so the left one would go up to the coast, which I assume heads to that bridge, and then there's that one on the right. That's going to lead down to the Forest of Rim, isn't it? Do I want to go to the Forest of Rim? I think I should turn left. But Desert Phoenix, what do you think I should do? Is it worth going through the Forest of Rim, or should I go left, which should lead me more directly to Port Backs? Now, having said that, bad guy forces are probably going to be waiting for me in Port Backs. So there is that to consider. Yeah. All right. So okay, guys, 5 people watching. Thanks very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There are more of these if you want to see how I got on with the first book and the first half of this book. I have died once today. Desert Phoenix is saying try the forest. I agree. That's the less obvious choice, isn't it? I think I will. I think I will try the forest. Hi, Keith. If you wanna take part. When I get options, you can help me choose them. I am going to choose the forest. It might be more dangerous, but if it does, I'm going to blame you. But we'll see what happens. 334. Okay, so here we go. So after a few miles, the track becomes faint and overgrown until it completely disappears. Oh, very good, Desert Phoenix. Thanks for that. Your ride becomes slower and more difficult as you labour to avoid many logs and potholes that pepper the moor. After several hours, you reach the edge of Durinal Forest. Okay, yeah, which is, on the island Durinal. Standing above the pine trees is a tall watchtower. Spiral of smoke raises lazily from the hidden chimney. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking, I don't. I have hunting. I don't have tracking. Decide to enter the forest and investigate the tower, or I can ignore the tower and go in search of a forest track. Well, there's no reason why I can't go in the tower, because these guys the guys in this kingdom are not against me. I'm thinking go in the tower. Thomas Bartoli and Sir Clueless seduce the forest. Seducing the forest is not an option. Good to see you, Thomas Bartoli. Thanks for popping in. This is quite a niche stream. I'm playing the Lone Wolf adventure game series. You may know the Fighting Fantasy books, but these are the Lone Wolf ones, which I always thought were better. These are the new editions. They've all been rewritten and slightly adjusted. And it's one of my missions to play the whole book series live online. And I've already failed in my mission to do it all the way through without getting killed, because I got killed once today and I had to do a restart. So I think I should go in the tower. So no one's saying otherwise. So 115 is the tower. The tower collapses. Your adventure ends here. Better not say that. Okay, the area of the watchtower has been cleared of foliage. You are looking for a lock or a keyhole. Standing before you is a knight of the White Mountain, broadsword held in front of his face. State your purpose and mark your words well. My steel will be my answer if you lie. If you wish to tell the knight the true purpose of your mission to Durinor, turn to page 80. I probably will, because if you decide to lie, or I can attack him. I'm not going to attack him. I think I'm going to take a gamble and tell him who I am. So, because he's only a basic guy, isn't he? On guard. The knight sheaths his broadsword and ushers you inside. Look, that was the right choice. There you go. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, indeed. You follow him to the large room at the top of the flight of stone steps, where a log fire blazes warmly in an open grate. If you are who you claim to be, you must be in possession of the seal of Hammerdale. I do have that. So 15. His look of suspicion rapidly changes to one of surprise. I believed you to be a trickster, young Kai. I must confess that I intended to teach you a lesson you would not have forgotten in a lifetime. Please forgive my doubts, but your story sounded so grave, I refused to believe it was true. I'm sworn to defend the border, and I cannot leave the tower. But I offer you free choice of any of my possessions that may aid you in your quest. That's very kind of him, isn't it? Going into town is like playing Dungeons and Dragons and just going into a random bar for no reason, but to find it humorous to be a random drunk. Yeah, pretty much, mate. That's you missed that bit. I did that bit earlier. He places the following items on a large oak table and invites you to take your pick. Out of courtesy, you limit yourself to picking 3 of the following. Great, I've got a broadsword again. So, and I have a +2 broadsword skill. That puts my combat rating now up to 20, which is good. Oh, and by the way, my endurance is now up to 14. So, enough food for 3 meals. I'll do that, and I'll put my meals up to 8. I could take 12 gold crowns or a healing potion. I don't need anything else. I think I'll take the 12 gold crowns, as they seem to have been quite important thus far. You're about to leave the town when he points the direction you should take. When you reach the Rimmer lift, sounds a bit dodgy. Take the track northwards. You will come to a bridge guarded by the Kingsmen. When they ask you for a password, use the word sunset. Beyond the Rime Rift leads to Port Backs. Godspeed, Lone Wolf. You thank the brave warrior and leave his abode. See, like, not everybody's a bad person, so take the oaken table. I'll take the table with everything on it. Is that one item? Thanks very much. I do like that input. Very good, sir. Right, okay, so let's well, I lost my place for a second. Let me just backtrack. Okay, so I'm going to 244. 244. Okay, let's get these up. I'm turning to page 244 or number 244. Okay, here we go. You brush on through the dense forest for nearly 3 hours before you discover a track heading north. It runs parallel to the Rimmer Rift, whose rolling dark waters are over 1 mile deep. Oh, okay, that's the river. Yes, very good. It's on the map there. So, guys, I am currently, by the way, sort of around here somewhere. You spot a bridge that spans the Blackwater at a narrow point. A small hut with a flat roof has been erected, atop which stand 2 Duranese soldiers. A sign points to the bridge. Port back. So if you have the sky discipline of tracking, I don't. If you decide to cross the bridge, yeah, I'll cross the bridge. I know the password, so let's cross the bridge. 47. Go to 47. Hurriedly, the soldiers descend from the roof of the hut, and they snatch up their spears. Give the password, stranger. If you know the correct password for the bridge, turn to 111. Well, I think I do. So let's. Reluctantly, the guards lower their weapons and allow you to cross the bridge. Oh, right, okay. Didn't ask me what the password was. As you slip past, they stare at you and whisper something to each other. Once safely across, you hurry on your way in case the guards should change their minds and arrest you. So something dodgy is going on here. Yeah, Thomas, if you want to look these up, you can get them. They're available online. You can get them in softback as well. The hardback editions are really nice. And I have them. I have the first 5 behind me. They are here. Shadow on the Sand was always my favourite, actually, of the first. And I always had the first 10 books. These are the original editions, and this is the This is the original edition of the book I'm doing at the moment. But as it's upside down. But they have been revamped and so forth. And my aim is to certainly play all 12, the first 12 books online. So let's get the map back up again. Here we go. Okay. So 7 people watching. Thanks very much. Do like and subscribe. If you really feel inclined, share the stream. It is a bit of a niche thing I'm doing today, playing these very old school adventure books as opposed to wandering around a 3-dimensional map with a game with you online, which is what most people do when they do gaming streams. I'm mainly just writing my book today. Thomas, tell us give me a couple of lines pitch about what your book's about. I'm actually very interested to know. And by the way, if anyone is an aspiring writer and they're watching, I do script appraisals, I do book appraisals, I do book editing, I do script rewrites. That's all part of my day job, as it were. Okay, so I continue confident that I'll reach the city within an hour. Okay, good. I'm glad I'm confident about that. Turn to 265. So 265, here we go. And I think it's also going to tell me to drink some water because my throat is getting a bit dry. At the dusk of the 10th day of your quest. God, yeah, it feels like it's been 10 days while I've been sitting here. Seduce the like button, chat. Oh, yes, bless you. Thank you very much. Please do like. You experience your first sign of the magnificent city of Port Backs. Well, I can't tell you how magnificent it is because there's no picture, but it's here. So that's where I've got to. Like a diamond set into the green velvet shoreline, the shining towers of the city glimmer ashen light of a waxing moon. Yeah, okay, blah, 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 blah. To the north lies the harbour and the formidable war fleet of the Duranese navy. To the east, beyond the moss-covered city wall, stretches the dense forest of Duranor, and before you on the crest of the hills stands a castle, tall and proud. So I'm guessing that's the one in the distance, surrounded by the mountains. You enter Port Bax through an unguarded gate. Bit slack, you know. Make your way through the darkening streets towards the harbour area. As you turn into the tree-lined avenue, you notice the wide stone steps of a dome building to your right. You stop to read the brass plaque that is fixed to the wall. City Hall. Despite the late hour, the twin doors are still open. If you have the Kai discipline of tracking, turn to page blah blah. If you wish to enter the City Hall, turn to 84. If you decide to continue towards the harbour. City Hall or harbour? Let's have a quick read of Thomas's pitch for his book. Superheroes and sci-fi. It's about a superhero team in a town called Silver City and how two twin alien children are supposed to be some foretold prophecy. Is that like a Western town? When's it set? Just curious. And is it set on Earth? Tell me more. Okay. Well, guys, do I enter the City Hall or do I continue to the harbour? It's not Star Wars. Yeah, I wasn't getting a Star Wars vibe. So, guys watching, City Hall or harbour, anyone want to chuck a suggestion at me in the chat? My inclination is to check out what's going on in the City Hall as I'm here. I feel I should. No one's saying different, so I think that's what I'm going to choose to do. I know there's a bit of a lag with the live, but if you when I get to a choice and I say a choice, if you want to try and influence my choice, put a comment in the chat. Just inside the main door sits a kindly old man with a long beard. Don't they always have long beards? He's studying a huge leather-bound book that rests on a lectern. He's so engrossed in reading that he is not even noticed as you enter the hall. If you wish to approach the man and ask him the way to the consulate of Summerland, turn to page 211. If you decide to leave the City Hall and attempt to find your own way. Well, I've entered the hall now, so I might as well ask him. 211. The consulate of Summerland, he says with surprise, taken aback by your sudden and unexpected appearance. Why, of course, it's in Allen Square down at the harbour. Turn right when you leave and right again at the end of the avenue. Walk directly to the red gate. Of course, you'll need a red pass to enter, as the Sommerland consulate is in the naval quadrant of the city. It's a restricted area. You ask how you may obtain a red pass. City Hall and avoid getting crabs. From the captain, port of the watch, you're obviously a stranger to Port Bax. There are a few indeed that do not know the answer to that question. I've kind of given myself away here. All right, so now turn to 191. So I guess I'm going to the port after all, but at least I got a bit of information. At the end of the avenue, the cobbled street turns abruptly to the right. Above this is a white stone building with a plaque fixed on the door that says this. There you go. Port Watchtower Harbour Authority. Okay. You can see that these cobbled streets continue for a few dozen yards. Hang on. Got something stuck in my teeth, so I'm going to turn my camera off for a second. I am still here. Definitely still here. Beyond the gate, you can make out the mast of several ships. Cobbled street. So I can either enter a watchtower or I can choose to approach the red gate. I think he said something about going to the red gate. So I think I'm looking at the red gate, I think. Go to 246. Damn, I tell you what, I thought I'd be done with this by now. But it's fun, I'm having fun, so it's all good. 246. One of the guards steps forwards and demands to see your pass. Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, cool. So I thought it was the red keep where I was going to get the pass. If you have a white pass, if you have a red pass, if you do not have a pass, you'll be refused entry. Okay, turn to 327. Is that going to be your journey ends here? Better not be. Oh, hang on. You're walking along the cobbled street and trying to decide the best course of action when a young boy approaches you. I can get you into the harbour, you know, he says, but it'll cost you. He produces an envelope containing a sheaf of official-looking papers. forgeries, perhaps. I'm guessing. These will get you a red pass at the port watchtower. All yours for only 3 gold crowns. If you wish to buy the documents and pay the boy, record these actions in your action. If you do not have 3 gold crowns, the boy will pause to reconsider. He will then sell you the access papers for however many gold crowns you have. If you do not have any gold crowns, well, in that case, I'm going to barter with him, and I'm just going to take them for a crown. So, because you've already given away that he'll sell them for however much. So I'm going to give him a crown. I'll take him for a crown, mate. If you wish to enter the watchtower. Okay, so I'm going to enter the watchtower. I hope I don't get done for forged documents. Let's see what happens. You stand outside. You're standing in a large empty hall opposite 2 doors, seemingly identical. If you wish to enter the door that says white passes, red passes, I need a red pass, so we're going in the red pass door, 62. Blimey, I'm jumping about a lot here. 62. You enter a large room which is filled with leather-bound ledgers and reams of files, not flies. Kick the kid. There isn't an option to kick the kid. By the way, Thomas, if you're not sure of the ending of your book, I would just my personal advice as a writer, and I use this in my writing classes all the time, or when I'm giving lectures, is whatever your remaining chapters are left, write the ones that are clearest in your head first. Doesn't matter whether they're out of order. And then move on to the next thing that's clearest in your head first. And I suspect during that process, the ending will present itself to you. Okay, so back to the adventure. Right, yeah. So you enter a large room which is filled with leather-bound ledgers and reams of files. A man wearing the uniform of a Journey's naval officer sits in a large desk opposite the door. He peers at you inquisitively from behind a huge book. Is the book this? I wonder. You have pressing business in the You must have pressing business in the naval quadrant to apply for a red pass at this late hour. I shall need to see your access papers and proof of your commanding officer's authorization. If you have the seal of Hammerdale and wish to show it, so I could use the seal or show the documents. What do I risk? Well, I'm going to do the documents, I think, or should I? I don't know. Maybe I should. I've got the seal, and so far the seal's done me okay. So I don't know. I don't know about these forgeries, man. Can return to the outer hall by going to 318. I'm going to show the seal. 263. The man stares at the seal with a look of shocked and dismay. Without saying a word, he gets up from his chair and beckons you to follow him up a flight of spiral stairs that lead to a domed chamber. Here you meet the captain of Port Watch. There's a lot of female fighters in this thing. Flash him the nud. I mean the documents. No, I've decided to use I've got this little pendant or little seal thing that gets me in a lot of places. She listens to you intently about the war raging in Summerland and the nature of your urgent mission to Duranor. Issue a red pass immediately, top priority. You collect your red pass, leave the watchtower, hurry along the streets towards the harbour guards, and turn to 4-6. I'll put the red pass as a special item. Okay, red pass. All right. And I'm also, my endurance is now back up to 18. So I'm 4 points away from where I was. 246. So I'm back to the guards again. 202 because I present a red pass, which I've now got. And okay, this is a bit of a wordy chapter, so time for another sip of water. I've got a I do have a silver pendant, by the way, so clueless. It's different from the Hammerdale thing. The soldier salutes you and allows you to pass through the red gate. You return the salute and walk into an open square lit by tall beacons lining the quayside. To your relief, you catch sight of the marble pillars of the Summerland consulate, the familiar flag of your country, flying in the night breeze. As you climb the stone steps, your Kai cloak and tunic are recognised by Summerland guards on duty. They disappear inside and quickly return in the company of a tall grey-haired official. His anguished expression suddenly changes to a smile of joy as he beholds your travel-stained Kai uniform. Hope beyond hope! Thank gods you live, lone wolf! The scant news that has reached us from the west has caused us great alarm. That's my old man impression. You're ushered inside and taken immediately to the envoy of Summerland, Lord Lieutenant Rygar. Turn to 31. Okay, we're moving fast now, people. Cooking on gas. All right. Oh my God, this is a very wordy chapter, so I may edit it down slightly. Your first meeting with the lieutenant comes as something of a shock, blah, 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 blah. You soon learn that Lord Lieutenant Rygar is an exceptional man. Does he unsheath himself, or what's going on there? Born of a Summerling father and a Duranese mother. Oh, okay. He is something of a legend in the city. Past decade, he has allegiance to both nations. Had a victory against the invading ice barbarians of Coltate. I think that's setting up something for book 3. As book 3 is called, The Caverns of Coltate. Wise in peace, fierce in war, you could not have wished for better company on your quest for the Sommerswerd. Rygar orders that a sumptuous meal be served. It is by far the best food you've tasted since the war began. During the feast, you recall the event that brought you to Port Bax. Reflect on the daunting challenge. Rygar sends you for the physician to attend to your wounds. 6 endurance points. Okay, so my endurance is back to 22. Then he advises you to sleep, and you leave with the Lord Lieutenant for Hammerdale the first thing in the morning. Okay. Shortly after dawn the next day, you are taken to an enclosed garden at the rear of the consulate where Rygar and 3 of his best soldiers await you on horseback. Now, these 3 guys are probably wearing red Star Trek shirts. Let's see how many of them are alive at the end of the book. They are to be your bodyguard and your guides on the 230-mile ride to Hammerdale. So you could see that castle, even though it was 230 miles away earlier in the book. The streets of Port Bax are just beginning to come to life as you ride through the town, passing under a moss-covered city gate. Everything's covered in moss. You now feel very confident your mission will succeed. So confident that you have to pick a number between 1 and 10. But it's random. So, okay, I'm not going to bother putting the dice thing up, but I'll tell you what I've rolled, and I'm rolling now. I have rolled a 1. So if you pick from 0 to 4, turn to 1, 7, 6. Let me guess, the 4 red shirts are dead. Let's have a look. 1, 7, 6. What's happening? For 3 days and nights, you have ridden along the highway as it travels up the river valley of Duranon. In the distance are the peaks of the Hammerdale Mountains, one of the highest ranges in all of Magnamund. So we are now... let me move the map about a little bit. We are now heading to this mountain range here. I think you can click on this. Yeah, and that's what's great about this map, which, by the way, is on the Lone Wolf website. And where those white areas are, you click on them and it sort of tells you a little bit of information about that area on the map, which is kind of cool. In the distance of the peaks of the yeah, we just said all that. Okay, it's now morning. On the 14th day of your quest, you've made camp near a waterfall. Very, very picturesque. You're about to leave when 6 hooded riders appear on the forest highway above, blocking your exit from the camp. Lord Rygar demands that they let you pass, adding that you're bearer royal dispatch in Duranor. It is a treasonable offence to hinder a king's messenger. Unfortunately, the cloak riders are not impressed by his warning, and they remain where they are. If you do not care for reason, perhaps our swords will turn your tails, says Rygar. He draws his sword and orders his men to attack. Now, if you possess the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense or the Crystal Star Pendant, I do have the Crystal Star Pendant. That's the pendant I was referring to earlier. Yeah, Crystal Star Pendant. It's actually written on my book sheet, but I'm trying to transfer everything to a character sheet on here. I didn't do everything before I started. Turn to 322. If you decide to follow Rygar, turn to 45. If you do not wish to attack the riders, turn to 277. Well, there is a strong aura of evil surrounding these cloak riders. You are warned that you should not follow Rygar and his men into their impetuous red shirt Star Trek charge. I told you these guys had red shirt Star Trek uniforms on. You shout a warning to them in the hope that it will halt their attack, but it's too late. You cannot be heard above their battle cries and the thunder of their horses' hooves. To continue, turn to 277. So I'm pretty sure my escort is now dead. That didn't take long. As Rygar and his men gallop nearer the riders, one of the cloaked horsemen draws a black star from beneath his robe. A fierce blue flame shoots from its twisted tip and explodes beneath Rygar's horse, toppling him, sending him head over heels into dense undergrowth. Furiously, Rygar's men attack the cloaked riders with their swords. Their sharp blades slice clean through the enemy's cloaks and bodies, but to no effect. These are Helghast, evil undead agents of the Dark Lords of Ghana. Yeah, these are kind of like the Black Riders in Lord of the Rings. Their cloak staff bearer gives a hideous laugh that tears at your mind. He is using a very powerful mind blast against you. You know, now, I've got Mind Shield, however. You know you're outnumbered by a superior enemy and you must act quickly if you're to survive. If you wish to abandon your horse and dive for cover amidst the thick undergrowth, turn to 311. If you decide to aid Rygar's courageous men. So I like the use of the word courageous there, because they're basically saying that if I don't aid them, I'm a coward. Aid the men or die for cover. What do we think, chat? Help me out here. Aid the men or die. Aid the courageous men. The courageous men, I need to say. They are courageous men. Let us not forget that. Or die for cover. So, I mean, we're outnumbered. These people seem pretty mean. I think I'm going to die for cover. In an act of courageousness. Hey Thomas, thanks for popping in, mate. Really appreciate it. These are all under a specific folder on the channel, so you can watch the other ones later if you like. And I'm going to continue doing it. Unfortunately, I have dived for cover. Hang on, where was I? I've lost where I was now. Yeah, I've lost my place in the book. I've lost my place. Yeah, I've lost my place. What was the last number I read out? Somebody? What were the two choices? Because I said I was running away effectively, but I have lost my place. Got to go back to where I was. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this is annoying. I've completely lost my place. Oh, god damn it. Let me try and just get back on to the thread of where I was. Because I thought I had I thought I had these the bookmark on the right place, but I don't think I moved it. Okay, yeah. Okay, you're warned that the strangers are Helghast, fell captains in the service of Dark Lord and Sagana. They've been sent on a mission of assassination. You turn to shout a warning to Rygar as you run for your safety of the forest. Turn to 183. Okay, that was where I was supposed to go. 183. Okay. 183. 183. Forest drops away steeply. Got to pick a random number. 3. Turn to 311. Okay, 311, 311, 311. So I'm now running in the forest on my own, courageously, of course. You come to rest downwards in a tangle of thickened bracken. The ringing clash of steel and horrible cries of the Helghast are echoing through the trees above you. You're stunned and cannot move until a hand grabs you by the arm, pulls you up. It's Rygar. His face is bloodied, his armor battered and charred. We must flee these demons, Lone Wolf. Yeah, I was already ahead of you there, mate. They are Helghast. Yes, I'm ahead of you there, mate. You glimpse the silhouette of a Helghast on the forest road, their mind bent on the slaughter of Rygar's men. I told you those guys had red shirts. They're all dead now. Okay, to continue, 299. So I'm still with this guy. Let's hope he's not some kind of traitor. For 6 hours, you run without rest. That's like that scene in Lord of the Rings where they're running through the mountains. The Helghast are on the highway, and you are forced to make your way through the steep and wooded hills to avoid capture. Many times you feel that you could just not go on. I can't go on. Sounds like my career. That the pain and the fatigue are too much to bear. But each time you falter, you are spurned on by Rygar. I marvel at his endurance. This is some sort of beginnings of some sort of relationship between me and Rygar. Sounds like it. For he is not a young man, and he's clothed in the heavy armor of a summer-lending knight. Yeah, it's all sounding a bit suspicious. By nightfall, you have reached the entrance of Tarnalan, the western tunnel through the Hammerdale Mountains. So that's okay. So that's this road that goes through the mountain. Actually, you can see that there's a tunnel there. I wish I could zoom in on that, but I don't think I can. Yeah, I can see it a lot more clearly on my. Okay. The 3 tunnels of Durinel were excavated during the age of the Black Moon. Blah, 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 blah. Tunnels provide the only access to the city by land. Rygar sits beside you, takes some bread and dried meat from his pack. Eat this, Lone Wolf. That looks really appealing. From this point onwards, you will have to venture through. You must maintain the strength for your journey. From this point onwards, you will have to venture alone through the Tarnalan. I shall remain here and hold the enemy back as long as I can. Do not argue with my decision. Your mission to succeed is the only thing that matters. Well, that's got rid of him. If Rygar is to hold off the Helghast, he will need a magic weapon, as his own sword is of no use against the creatures. If you possess a magic spear and wish to give it to Rygar so that he can use it to defend the tunnel. I don't possess a magic spear, but I do possess a dark sword of a Helghast. So I do possess a magic weapon that he can use. It's not the spear, but so I'm going to say that counts. So I'm going to give up my dark sword. That takes me to 118. You bid Rygar farewell. Over 100, and you enter the tunnel. Over 100 feet in height and width, the tunnel runs all the way to the capital on the far side. It's lit by torches. Wonder whose job it is to light those. Okay. I think some strange creatures. The highway through the mountain is usually busy with traffic of merchants from Port Bax, but now the entrance and interior are deserted. As you walk deeper, a sinister doubt invades your mind. Have the Helghast arrived here before you? Been walking for half an hour when you see a strange creature on top of a wagon abandoned in the road ahead. It's little more than 2 feet high and resembles an overgrown marsh mat. You assume it's some sort of tunnel-dwelling rodent until you notice it's wearing a splendid jacket, wearing a patchwork leather jacket and carrying a crudely made spear. As you near, it turns towards you. He sees you and immediately scampers off into the darkness. So he looks like this thing. There you go. Interesting. So I got a choice: either follow him, I can either follow him. Do I possess the Kai skill of animal kinship? No, I do not. I've got tracking, mind shield, mind over matter, hunting, healing, and broadsword combat +2. I can follow the creature, or I could ignore it and continue. I think I'm going to follow it. Seems harmless enough. Maybe he's trying to help me. You chase the creature as it harrows along a narrow, twisting passage for nearly 10 minutes. You're about to give up the chase when the passage opens into a huge, torchlit cavern, and it has an entire colony of these strange creatures. If you have the Kai discipline of animal kinship, no, I don't. So 295. I hope this doesn't say your adventure ends here. One of the creatures, who is much larger than the others, dressed in a magnificent robe of patchwork silk, screams out an order in their strange language. All the furry creatures arm themselves with spears and swords, with a strange battle cry that sounds like Gagish Nagish. They charge towards you. Your curiosity gives way to the realization you must evade them or risk being trampled upon by their overwhelming weight in numbers. You turn and sprint along a narrow corridor until their angry cries have faded. Pick a number if you have the Kai discipline of tracking, which I do. Add 3 if you have 6th sense, which I don't. Add 1. And if you've reached the rank of aspirant, add another 1. I don't know what my rank is currently. Let's have a look. I'll roll the dice and add 3. And my die roll is 11 because I rolled an 8. So 349. I think that's going to be a good result for me. 349. You've covered nearly 3 miles before you see a group of wagons in the distance. They've been strung out across the highway to form a barricade. Soldiers in red uniforms line the roof of the wagons, and a large number of people are crowded behind them. You can hear their excited chatter echoing along the tunnel. As you get closer, there is sudden silence. Everyone stares at you. A detachment of 10 soldiers, led by a knight whose shield bears the royal arms of Durinor, leads the wagon. If you wish to attack the soldiers, turn to 87. I do not. Raise your hands and continue to walk towards them. I think I'll do that. 284. Have a feeling that attacking them would not be a good choice. Oh, okay. Well, we've got a picture of the leading knight in question here. There he is. Cautiously, the soldiers surround you. Take your weapons and your backpack. In this instance, do not erase them from the action chart. Then the knight steps forward and raises the visor of his helm. Who are you? What is your purpose here in Tarlin? That was my posh knight voice. I hope that suffices. You tell him you're a Kai warrior from Summerland and on an urgent mission to the court of King Alin, or Aelin. He seems unconvinced until you show him the seal of Hammerdale. Then, without hesitation, he orders his men to return all your belongings and ushers you through the wall of wagons. Beyond, you can see a horse-drawn carriage waiting in the centre of the crowded tunnel, motions for you to climb aboard. Back to Hammerdale without delay, he orders the driver, and you are thrown at breakneck speed as the coach moves off. Okay. You soon learn that this knight is Lord Axin of Rhyme, commander of King Alan's personal bodyguard. He was on his way to Port Bax on an errand for the king when the Helghast entered Tarlin. He and his 10 soldiers were the only ones to survive the deadly encounter. During your ride through the tunnel, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance. Okay, well, I've got 8 meals now, so I'll eat 1. If you possess the Kai discipline of hunting, you can use it. I don't need to use it right now, and I don't have it. Or do I? Yes, I do have it, but oh, you're unable to use it. Yeah, because they're not going to stop and let me get off the coach. I drift off to sleep and I dream about the Sommerswerd, or sword. You picture a triumph return to Holmgard and defeating Dark Lord Zagna's siege. Perhaps the dream is a good omen, a premonition of things to come. Turn to page 9. Okay, let's have a look. Page 9, page 9, page 9. Here we go. What's going on? It's the early morning of the 15th day of your quest. When you open your eyes to the breathtaking spectacle of Hamadal, the mountain city, the capital of Duranor, I feel like the music of Lord of the Rings, where they come to Minas Tirith for the first time. I feel like that should be playing right now. Capital of Duranor, unlike other cities in the Last Lands, needs no man-made fortifications. The encircling peaks of the Hamadal Range offer secure natural protection to the people of this splendid city. The carriage speeds through the lush farmlands that surround the city. In the approaching distance, you can see its many towers and white-lined, tree-lined avenues. On a hill at the very centre of Hamadal stands the King's Tower, a magnificent edifice constructed of glass and stone. As the carriage halts at the tower, you suddenly realise for the first time as a wielder of the Sommerswerd, your destiny is to become part of the oldest legend of the Last Lands. If you possess a magic spear, it is confiscated. It is confiscated by the King's Guard and destroyed, as they have identified it as an incomplete Helghast blue fire spear, a weapon of evil. I do not, so that's fine. Turn to 196. Okay. Blimey. This is taking quite a while. Long way to go yet, hobbits. Oh, okay, I'm in the throne room. King Alin sits alone in his doomed tower, viewing his mountain domain through one of many portals of Caranese glass, whatever that is. You and Lord Axim are formally announced as you enter the chamber, and you respectfully bow to the king. Then Lord Axim removes the seal of Hamadal from your fingers and walks over to the king's side. Erase the seal from your items. I shall. It is erased. Then Lord Axim and he talk for nearly an hour, their somber faces reflecting the seriousness of the situation. There's a short pause of silent meditation. Nice. Then King Alin arises and addresses you for the first time. Okay, let me take some water before I read this bit. Alas, the Dark Lords are in the ascendance once more, and once more does Summerland come in search of our aid. I had prayed that my reign would be remembered as a time of peace and fulfillment, but alas, in my heart, I knew it was to be otherwise. The king removes a golden key from the pocket of his white robe and inserts it into a marble dais standing in the centre of the chamber. A gentle humming fills the room as the stone cover slides back to reveal the hilt of a golden sword. Take the sword, lone wolf. It is foretold that only a true child of Summerland can release the powers that lie within its divine blade. As you grasp the sword's glowing hilt, a tingling sensation runs up your arm and radiates through your body. How lovely. If you possess the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, I don't, but I'm definitely going to pick it next. Turn to 79. If you do not possess this skill, turn to 123. This better not be your journey ends here, because I forgot to let go of the sword or something. I'm going to let go of the sword. I'm just saying that now. I'm letting go of the sword because I don't want to hold on to a tingly sword for too long. Okay. Strange power is now coursing through your body. Instinctively, you raise the golden blade above your head, and a shaft of sunlight catches the razor-sharp edge. The sword vibrates in your hands, and a bursting blind light floods the king's chamber. Yet almost immediately, the light begins to fade, and you're aware of Lord Axim's hand upon your shoulder. Come, lone wolf, there is much we must prepare for your return to Summerland. Don't know where this voice is coming from, but it sounds entertaining. You sheath the golden Sommersword in its jewelled scabbard and follow Lord Axim as he turns and leaves the king's chamber. Turn to page 40. Okay, I wonder what the Sixth Sense would have told me about the sword that I didn't find out there. Don't know. The master army of the preparation of the Duranese fleet takes 14 days to complete, during which time you remain as a guest of the king. Well, okay, my endurance is back up anyway. As each day passes, you despair for your besieged countrymen of Holmgard and pray they have enough strength to resist the forces of the Dark Lord until you're able to return. Every day of your reluctant exile, you devote long periods to exercise and meditation. Yeah, just like I do every day. You are visited by a Duranese herb warden called Madin Radalim. Madin Radalim. That's an interesting name. He is famous throughout the Last Lands for his knowledge and skill in the healing arts. He restores all your endurance points. Well, I've just been there for, I've just been there for like 18 days. So, or 14 days. So, I mean, you know, I don't need Marin, Halin, or whatever. Thanks very much. He gives you an especially potent lamp spur that will restore 5 endurance points. Well, I'll take that. Thanks very much. Don't have to use that right now because I'm already at max. Lamp spur strong. So that's like 5 points. Okay, plus 5. Let's do that. Plus 5. Cool. All right. Madin Redalim is also the bearer of some sad news. The body of Lord Lieutenant Rygar has been found in the forest near Tarralin. From the nature of his fatal wounds, it is believed he was killed by a Hellgast. If you have the Kai discipline of Sixth Sense, turn to 97. If you don't, 242. I don't have it, so unfortunately, I don't know if. Right. Okay. Right. So 242. 242. Definitely going to get the Sixth Sense on the next thing. Most of your time in Hammerdale is taking up training to use the Sommersword. It will add 8 points to your combat, or 10 if you possess the Kai discipline of weapon skill with a short sword or broadsword. I do. Wow. So now my combat skill is 28 with the Sommersword. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Seasoned players seeking a more challenged experience may also read the alternative rules about this item. Nah, I'm all right, thanks. I've already died once. So you come to realize that this divine blade is the only godly weapon in all of Magnamund that can kill the Dark Lord, and for this reason above all others, Dark Lord Zag Garner cannot afford to allow you to return to Holmgard. Make the necessary adjustments to your combat skill. Done that. Thanks very much. Go turn to page 152. Okay. All right. Good. I do like having the Sommersword. That's nice. It is early in the morning of your 33rd day of your quest when you ride into Port Bax with Lord Axim at your side. The preparations for war have been completed. The galleons of the Duranese war fleet lie anchor in the harbour. I've got quite a few people at Port Bax I wouldn't mind having a word with. On board each ship are many brave warriors from the Mountain Kingdom, tough army of skilled guys, eager to get into battle. Each man has sworn revenge. Yeah. Okay. You are to sail to Holmgard aboard the flagship Duranor, a warship with a great curving prow, tall masts to emphasize its power and strength. You and Lord Axim are taken aboard and welcomed by Admiral Calfen, commander of the fleet. In less than an hour, the harbour of Port Bax lies far behind you. The domed cities are now merely dots on the horizon. Pick a number. Okay, we will pick a number from 1 to 10. We have rolled 9. 7 to 9, turn to 193. I think a big battle is about to come before us. The voyage to Summerland is one of ill omen. Deep black storm clouds gather on the horizon. Oh dear. And a fierce wind relentlessly torments the sea. At night, great bolts of lightning tear open in the darkness, followed by thunder so loud, shaking every timber of the flagship. Many soldiers were unaccustomed to the shift. By the third day, over half the numbers are so ill they're unable to stand. Lord Axim is close to despair. How I pray this storm will lift. I fear our men will be too seasick to break the enemy. Then, as if answered to his prayer, by the dawn of the next day, heralds an end of raging storms. But the calm waters now surrounding the fleet contain a danger far greater than any storm. Okay. What do they contain? Turn to 100. Oh, okay. I see it. A veil of sea fog has rolled along the placid ocean from the broken spine of the land known as the Curladin Isles. So we are now, we've sailed the fleet, and on the map we're here. So we're coming through this island range. See where it says Silver Shore. I don't know if there's ever a way to get to that, incidentally. I'd be interested to know. Strange dark shapes are lurking in the mist. If you possess the crystal star pendant, which I do, you notice rays of yellow light are now radiating from it. It's a bit like it glows when orcs are near, that kind of thing. They are growing larger and slowly the indistinct outline as several ships become plain to see. All hands on deck, prepare for battle. The black ships approaching out of the fog are a horrific sight. They are death hulks, sunken ships crewed by living corpses of drowned sailors. Cool, so it's kind of a bit like Pirates of the Caribbean then. In the center of the enemy formation is their sinister flagship. It swiftly turns towards you, huge ram protruding from its bulk. As the head of the ram rips its way through your hull. Oh, that happened a bit quick. Didn't even get to do anything. You hear the admiral's last desperate order: abandon ship. You are now in the thick of the enemy fleet, and Duranor is sinking fast. If you wish to jump onto the deck of the flagship, turn to 30. If you wish to dive into the sea, try and swim to safety. Oh, I'm going to jump on the deck of the flagship. So the enemy flagship, by the way, looks like this. There it is. There's the big ram on it at the bottom. Pretty mean looking thing. Okay, so I am going to jump onto the flagship. So that was number 20. That was 30. Sorry, number 30. You land on the rotting timbers and crash straight through them to the deck below, unharmed by the fall, but the stench of decay is overwhelming. Yeah, I bet it is. You clamber to your feet and unsheath the Sommerswerd. 4 ghastly zombies stagger out of the gloom, eye sockets glowing, scarlet flames and twisted hands. That sounds like the zombies from Jack the Giant Killer. If you've ever seen Jack the Giant Killer, if you haven't, it's I think it was made in about 1973. There's a really cool and very creepy scene where these undead creatures attack a wedding. And it actually was really creepy for the time and very well done. This reminds me of that. So they are undead enemies. So remember to double all endurance points that they must lose to the power of the Sommersword. Double endurance points they must lose. That they lose due to the power of the Sommersword. Oh, right. Okay. So the Sommersword on undead does double damage. Happy days. Now their combat skill is only 13. My combat skill with the Sommersword is 28. So that gives me a plus 15 advantage, which means I'm rolling on the combat results table at plus 11 or greater. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to kill them all in the first blow. But let's share the dice rolling and find out, shall we? Here we go. So first round of combat against these undead crewmen. And I roll a 5 on plus 11 or greater. That is enemy damage minus 14, which is double to 28. I lose 1 point. They are dead. If you win the fight, turn to 258. Now I'm going to keep that up there because I think that's probably more combat to come. My endurance is down to 21. Okay, 258. What's going to happen now? The cloying stench of the ship is making you choke. So I've just thrown up. You must get this vial out of the smelling hold, or you will suffocate. If you wish to climb through the shattered deck, there's a door in the far wall. or climb through to the shattered deck. I'll go to the deck, I think. It's asking me if I've got the sixth sense again. No, I don't. And I also lost an endurance point because the stench is so overpowering. Damn, that's like one of my ex's farts. Okay, so that's down to 20. You've pulled your way halfway through the shattered decking when the door in the hold below suddenly bursts open. Helghast enters. Unfortunately, you're unable to escape, and it badly wounds you. You lose 5 endurance points. Shit, so I'm down to 15. I better heal. I'm going to use my heal on any non-combat rounds. Crying out. I've got that thing I can drink as well, so I might use it when I'm in a non-combat situation. Crying out with pain from your wounds, you drop upon the hold. The evil creature emits a ghastly laugh. Combat skill of 22, endurance of 30. Okay, it's an undead creature. So I double all the damage that I do. If you do not have the Kai discipline of Mind Shield, I do. You will lose 2 endurance points for every round of combat. Well, I've got Mind Shield, so piss off. Due to the wounds you've already sustained and your full, you must ignore any endurance points inflicted upon this enemy in the first round of combat. Oh, right. Okay. So in the first round of combat, I don't do any damage to him. Okay. So he's got skill combat 22. Mine is currently 28. So I'm on a +6 advantage. So on the first round of combat, I do an 8, which that's good. So that would have done 16 points of damage to him, but it does nothing on the first round of combat. I take 1. So I'm down to 14, and he's got endurance of 30. Ooh, this is dodgy. Okay, I need a high roll, guys. Here we go. 3 on a +6. He's taken 11 points of damage, so he's down to 19. I'm just going to write that below here so I don't forget. So he's currently on 19. Oh, hang on a minute. No. He takes double damage. So I go. He takes 22 points of damage because he's undead. So sorry, not 22. It's +6, isn't it? +6. So he takes 8, double to 16. Okay. All right. Okay, so that means he's got 14 left. Okay. These guys are nasty, man. It's like fighting the Black Rider. I need a high roll. Oh, come on. So that's not good. He's taken 6, double to 12. So he's now taken 26 points of damage. He's only got 4 left. I have taken another 3 points of damage. That's not good. I'm really injured now. I'm down to 8. Okay, I need a high roll. Come on. High roll. Yes! Okay, he is dead. D-E-A-D. Dead. And I don't think I lost anything on that. Let me have a look. No, on a 10, I don't lose anything. Good. All right, good. Now, as soon as I get, okay, I escape out the hold, I open the door, 166. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to take that healing potion. You make your way up a flight of steps and onto a crowded deck. A fierce battle rages all around you. The Duranese fleet is engulfed by the rush of ghostly Death Hulks. Suddenly, a flash of searing flame shoots from a tower at the rear of the Death Hulk you're on. It explodes on the side of the Duranese warship less than 50 yards away. You watch in horror as the soldiers leap from the deck with their clothes and hair aflame. If you wish to investigate the tower, or do I want to escape by jumping overboard? Right, now this is not a combat round, so I'm going to put my endurance up by 1 to 9, and then I'm going to drink that strong potion, which puts it up to 14. So that potion is gone, so I need to take that off my items. Okay, cool. All right, so I think I need to investigate the tower. This is the flagship, so I've got to take out the main guy. So I'm going for the tower. It's probably not a good idea, but let's see what happens. Your journey ends here. No. 2 zombies try to block your passage, but you cleave them in half with one sweep of the sword. Too right, I do. You're at the foot of the tower, and you can now see a hunchback man swathed in crimson robes above you. He wears a tall... Ah, this is the guy on the front of the original book. So I know exactly who this is. So this is this guy. And this is the bad guy in charge of the... And that's what he's doing. He's firing that and destroying the enemy ships with his fire, magic fire or whatever. So I've definitely got to take him out, haven't I? Definitely got to take him out. Retreating was not the right thing. If you've ever visited the ruins of Romanus, now I have. They were in the first book. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure they were a special location in the first book. If they're not listed in this book, then that would be correct. Don't think there's any. No, there's no special locations listed in this one. So okay, yeah, I have been there. There was kind of like a sort of weird ruined temple. So I can turn to if you've ever been there, turn to 113. I do have the skill of tracking as well, so turn to 204. All right, well, let me turn. I can go to both of those. So let me do 113 first. He is Votnar, the traitor, renegade wizard from the Missions Guild of Torrent. Ah, yeah, he's a master of the Brotherhood of Magic, and he now possesses even greater dark magical powers, which Dark Lord Zagana has bestowed upon him. It was Votnar's agents who tried to assassinate you during your quest. Right, well, this guy's going to get his ass kicked, let me tell you now. Hey, David, you're back. Welcome back, mate. I'm near the end of this quest. Near the end. So you are not entirely sure if you arrived too late to see him closely, but you suspect that this hunchback man is the sorcerer who was present when your old Kai tutor, Master Stormhawk, was murdered. It was during a reconnaissance mission to determine the purpose of the Gaelic war party, months before the monastery was attacked. It is he who commands the Death Fleet. Destroy Votnar and you will destroy the evil force, which gives the power to the Death Hulk and their crews. You may climb the tower and attack Votnar by turning to 73. You do not wish to risk your life. Right, I do want to attack him, but I also have the skill of tracking. So I feel like I'm entitled to know all the information because I've got both tracking and I've visited the temple. Now, of course, I can't find where I was, so I might just have to go fuck it and attack him. All right, well, I'm going to attack him then. So turn to 73. Here we go. It better not say your journey ends here. Okay. He fires a flame directly towards my face. I'm not confident this is going to end well. In a fraction of a second, the searing flame burst changes direction in midair and it's drawn towards the blade of the Sommerswerd. The bolt of energy disappears into the golden blade like water into a drain. Remember, the sword has the power to absorb magic. Okay, this is looking a bit better for me now. The sorcerer curses you, pulls a jewel from his ornate tokma and throws it at your fleet. There's a flash of scarlet flame, green smoke filling your nostrils. You're forced to jump to the deck below to avoid the gas. You catch a glimpse of the sorcerer as he frantically paddles a small boat away from the flagship. If you wish to dive into the sea and swim after him, or do you want to go back to your Duranese warship? Well, my Duranese warship was sinking. I'm going to go after him because if he dies, then all of the people die. So let's try and take him out, I think. Blinking foul water from your eyes. You can see the death hulks now fiercely ablaze. Blah, 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 blah. Suddenly you're aware of beating wings directly above you. You're shocked to see a cran. That's kind of like the Black Riders. The Black Riders from Lord of the Rings. I'm going to put the map back up. Well, we've got 7 people watching now. So thanks for joining. Quite a niche stream, as I have explained before. I am doing the Lone Wolf adventure books, and I'm currently battling the evil fleet among these islands here. Its hooked talons catches your cloak, and I'm snatched up into the air. You draw your summersword and thrust it upwards into the soft belly of the creature. With a shriek of agony, it releases your grip and lets you fall. You gasp. To continue, turn a 120. Okay, God. This battle is, I thought it'd be over by now. I want to get this guy. I don't want this guy to escape. Luck is with you. You land safely on the deck of Kalam, a Duranese warship. The soldiers here are fighting a desperate battle to repulse the enemy. Now they're cutting the grappling ropes that are keeping the ship tied to a death hulk. From out of the smoke strides Lord Axim, his face bloodied, his shield scarred by many cuts. Thank God you're alive, Lone Wolf. The fight here has been bitter and our losses are high, but I'm heartened to see you standing before me now. It's great that he's got time to do this speech while the battle is raging. Through the fog of war, you can see a huge death hulk is slowly sinking. The Kalam is eventually cut free. Lord Axim orders the Royal Arms of Duranor to be hoisted aloft so the other ships can rally to it. For the first time since the battle began, you can now see the other Duranese ships. It's an amazing sight. So every death hulk on the horizon upends and returns to its watery grave. Oh, okay. Their sorcery is broken. We have won the battle. And within a space of a few short minutes, not one of the death hulks remains to be seen. Oh, right. Okay. Well, there we are. 225 then. 70 Duranese warships that left port backs, only 50 now enter Holmgard. The battle has claimed many brave men, including Admiral Calfin, who died aboard his flagship. The first ship to be sunk in the engagement. Yet, despite the heavy losses, a great victory infuses and revitalizes strength and resolve from the past ordeal of both voyage and battle are now forgotten. As their optimism and determination return, all are eager to reach Holmgard and raise the siege. It is dusk on the 37th day of your quest. When you sight the spires of Holmgard on the horizon, the city stands defiantly against the army of Dark Lord Zagama. Although it has been constantly under siege since you left, flickering in the darkness, you can see the small fires which are burning throughout the capital. A confident Lord Axim joins you at the prow. The moonlight sky will aid us this night. We shall enter the harbour unseen. Come the dawn, my men will scatter the wretched foe like dead leaves upon a wind of a storm. There you go. So it looks like video is starting to lag. Is it? Okay. I've been on for a while. That's probably why. As you enter Holmgard Harbour at the head of the Duranese fleet, you unsheath the golden Sommersword and prepare to fulfill your destiny. I have a feeling this is going to be the this is going to be the final. It is the final. Okay, I've reached the end of the book. Here we go, guys. Holmgard has suffered greatly since your departure. Many of the shops and houses you remember passing on your way to the quayside are now little more than smouldering heaps of ash. Dark Lord Zagana's army has besieged the main walls of the city for several weeks and it is surrounded by their evil engines of war. The flaming arcs of fireballs continually can be seen shooting through the pre-dawn twilight, raining down flame and destruction on the city streets. It is a testimony to the bravery and resourcefulness of the capital that these many fires have quickly been contained and not been allowed to spread. The citizens fight the fires as best they can, but they're hungry and desperately exhausted. All know it's only a matter of days before they're forced to surrender. At first, as it enters the harbour, the fleet is mistaken for the enemy, and wailing cries of despair can be heard all along the quay. But as the first soldiers set foot in the city and unfurl the royal arms of Duranor, the news of your safe return spreads quickly. The cries of despair have changed to chorus of cheers. The Kai have returned. Just one. That's me. You're met on the quayside by King Orna himself, and he welcomes you back with open arms. Upon seeing that you possess the Sommerswerd sword, he details a company of his royal guard to escort you at once to the city's main gate. You're standing atop of the grand watchtower, high above the barbican of the city's north gate, when the first light of dawn creeps across the horizon, thousands upon thousands of black-clad enemy amassed around the city. This is very Lord of the Rings, isn't it? Very Lord of the Rings. In the midst of this horde, a great red tent has been erected, bearing the symbol of a broken skull. It is Zagana, Lord of Kag, Archlord of Helgard. His great ambition is the destruction of Holmgard. His fiercest desire to lead his army personally in victory. But victory is not to be this day. I feel like I feel like Aragorn. Instinctively, you raise your Sommersword high above the head. The first shaft of dawn catches the golden sword, and the brilliant flash of blinding white flame runs the entire length of the blade. The sword electrifies you. It's the most incredible sensation you've ever experienced. Oh, matron. Your sense is real, and your mind becomes completely focused. Now your body and mind are in complete harmony, and you react instinctively. You lower the Sommersword, point the blade towards the red tent of Dark Lord Zagana. There's a mighty roar, and the power of the sun sword increases. There's a deafening crack, and it leashes in a searing white beam of fiery energy. The tent explodes. There's a brilliant fireball of billowing white flame, mushrooms skywards above the noise of this destruction. A long and terrible sound rends the air. It is the death cry of Dark Lord Zagana. I bet he's not really dead. The leader of this evil army has been destroyed, in brackets, probably. Gripped with fear and panic, the vast black army rises up from their trenches and runs in chaos from the battered walls. The impossible has happened. Their invincible master has been slain, and the Sommersword has returned to defeat them again. King Olnar commands the armies and the allies of Durinor to ride out the city gates in pursuit of the panic-stricken enemy. Victory is sealed with the destruction of Zagana's defeated army, and the glory of this great victory is ours. Holmgard and its citizens have been spared the murder of the Kai, and the murder of the Kai has finally been avenged. But for you, lone wolf, a life of high adventure has only just begun. A new and deadly challenge awaits you and the Sommersword in the caverns of Colte. So, that final scene is depicted like so in this artwork. Now, I can't remember if that's the same as the artwork in the original book. So shall we just check? So this is the new book. These are the new editions. Still got the artwork of Gary Chalk, who I believe is still with us. Let us have a look at the original. So I have completed Fire on the Water. Now I died once. I died once whilst on this quest. I was trapped in a bit of a loop. It was a little bit. I felt it was a little bit naff, that loop. It is the same artwork in the original book. There we go. And this is the original book. So I take umbrage with that, because literally my options were gamble, get money, or die, and I felt that was a bit limiting my abilities. And it doesn't feel like there was a way for you to get to the city without your ship being wrecked. I feel those were the only options presented. So yeah, that was a shame. But yeah, so that's Fire in the Water. That is the second book of 12 that I plan to do the whole lot. I only did 10 up to book 10 when I was a teenager. So 10 more to go. 10 more to go until I get to the end of this section. And yeah, Fire on the Water completed. I enjoyed that, but I didn't enjoy it as much as the first book. And I did feel that area that I got trapped in, I felt the options were too limiting there. And it felt like there should have been another way, another route to get to the city. And I mean, maybe there is, and I needed to intersect that route earlier somehow, and I just didn't get presented it, or I missed it earlier. So but it was still a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for Desert Phoenix, who always pops up on these streams. Really appreciate you coming in. I've got some of my regulars here, Dave and Keith. Really appreciate you coming in. It was nice to have Thomas in the stream earlier, who I think is relatively new to the channel. So Clueless is somebody I've done streams with on use the pendant to hypnotize people. Yeah, if only that was an option. And great to have you on as well. And I think we had a couple of other people pop in earlier. So guys, that is the end of my fourth stream of the Lone Wolf series. I'll definitely be back doing another one of these probably next week, I think. But I don't know if I don't think I will schedule them Tuesday before we do a retro discussion, because I have to talk quite a lot on these, especially if I don't have a co-host. And I have to admit, my throat is rather dry at the moment. So I'm going to chug down some more water here. But look, thanks very much for joining me on the stream. Really appreciate it. And thanks to all my new subscribers as well. We're now over 2,000. So really do appreciate the support. This channel means a great deal to me. So do keep watching the streams, watch the back content, look particularly at the industry interviews. They're a lot of fun. They're very informative. I think you'll find them very interesting, whether you work in the creative industry or not. You've probably seen the films that these people have been in. And I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks for tuning in.